Picture this, a quiet dinner at an upscale restaurant where you think you're meeting the person who's meant to be your soulmate. But what if you end up sitting at the wrong table? That's exactly what happened to Lily Hart. What she thought was a mistake soon became a life-changing encounter that would alter everything. Who is the stranger sitting across from her, and why is their connection so strong? As secrets unravel and trust is tested, Lily finds herself caught in a whirlwind of emotions. Can love grow from a simple misunderstanding? Discover how one unexpected meeting leads to a journey filled with surprises and second chances. The soft hum of conversation and the delicate clink of silverware swirled through the air of the upscale New York City restaurant. Oh, what a place! The lighting glowed warm and subdued, casting a magical aura where every dish looked like a masterpiece and every guest radiated effortless confidence. But Emma Brooks? She was a bundle of nerves. Her reflection in the glossy window outside screamed her truth, a secondhand dress, scuffed shoes, and a heart racing with doubt. Why did she let Jenny, her best friend, talk her into this blind date? Still, a promise was a promise. Clutching her phone like a lifeline, Emma stepped inside, her eyes darting across the sea of tables. Tables, 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 she whispered, her pulse pounding in her ears. Then she spotted him, a sharply dressed man sitting alone at a table near the back. His dark hair was perfectly styled, his focus glued to his phone. That's gotta be him, right? Taking a shaky breath, she strode over, plastering on a bright smile. Hi, you must be Kevin. I'm Emma. So nice to meet you. Liam Parker looked up, his eyes wide with surprise. He blinked, caught off guard. Hi, he stammered. Emma, misreading his hesitation as shyness, slid into the seat across from him, her hands fidgeting nervously in her lap. Oh, I totally get it. This is so awkward, isn't it? Blind dates are just weird, right? She chirped, trying to ease the tension. Jenny warned me you might be a bit quiet, but don't worry, I can talk enough for both of us. Liam opened his mouth to set her straight, but something stopped him. His phone buzzed with a text, his business associate canceling their meeting. But it was Emma's earnest, glowing smile that held him captive. She was so different from the polished socialites and cunning networkers he usually encountered. She was real. Why not go with it? A faint smile tugged at his lips. Yeah, blind dates? They're definitely something else. Emma let out a nervous laugh, grabbing her water glass. Tell me about it. Jenny's been on a mission to set me up for months, but I'm always swamped. Work, you know, it never stops. Work? Liam asked, his curiosity piqued despite himself. I'm a waitress, Emma confessed, twisting the edge of her napkin. Not exactly living the high life, but it keeps the lights on. Well, most of the time anyway. Enough about me. What do you do? Liam paused, choosing his words carefully. I work in tech. Tech? That's so cool, Emma said, her eyes lighting up. Like coding and apps and all that? I'm hopeless with computers. Something like that, Liam replied, his smile growing wider. Could she be any more charming? The conversation flowed like a dream after that. Emma spilled stories about her chaotic shifts at the diner, her constant battle to pay rent, and her big dream of one day opening her own art studio. Liam couldn't help it. He was laughing more than he had in months. Her enthusiasm was infectious, pulling him. You're not what I expected, Emma said suddenly, her voice softening with thought. Liam raised an eyebrow. Oh, what do you mean? Well, Jenny said you were super reserved, she admitted, her cheeks turning pink. But you're so easy to talk to. Liam chuckled softly. You're pretty easy to talk to yourself, Emma. Her face lit up at the compliment, her nerves finally starting to settle. She was about to dive into more questions about his tech world when her phone buzzed. She glanced at it, and her heart plummeted. Hey Emma, where are you? I'm at table 7, looking forward to meeting you. Kevin. What? She read it again, her stomach twisting. Slowly she looked up at Liam, her face burning with humiliation. You're not Kevin, are you? She whispered, barely audible. Liam's smile faded, guilt flashing in his eyes. No, I'm not. Emma's world spun. Oh my God, she gasped, shooting to her feet. I'm so sorry. I sat at the wrong table. This is beyond embarrassing. Wait, Liam said, standing quickly. Emma, it's okay. But she was already snatching her coat and fleeing toward the door, her face flaming. Liam watched her disappear, a strange mix of regret and curiosity churning inside him. He'd meant to correct her from the start, but now he couldn't shake the question. Would he ever see her again? And why did the thought of losing her sting so much? In his sleek penthouse suite, Liam Parker gazed out at the glittering New York City skyline. The faint hum of traffic and the soft glow of city lights usually soothed him, but tonight his mind was elsewhere, replaying every moment of his chat with Emma. There was something about her sincerity, her warmth, that felt like a breath of fresh air in his world of fake smiles and calculated deals. She'd been so open, so vulnerable, sharing her life without a trace of pretense. It was nothing like the people he dealt with daily, business partners who weighed every word like gold, women who saw his wealth before his heart. Emma thought he was just some guy, and that made her honesty even more captivating. For the first time in ages, Liam felt a spark of curiosity. Meanwhile, across town, Emma flopped onto her couch in her cramped apartment, groaning into a throw pillow. Her roommate Jenny peeked over her laptop, smirking. That bad, huh? Emma sat up, her cheeks still flushed. Worse, I sat at the wrong table, Jen. I had a whole conversation with some random guy, thinking he was Kevin. Jenny barely held back a laugh. What happened? Emma spilled the story, her words tumbling out. He was nice, really nice. Funny too, but then I got the real Kevin's text, and I bolted like a total idiot. Sounds like a movie plot, Jenny teased. Emma groaned, burying her face in the pillow. I just hope I never see him again. Jenny raised an eyebrow. Really? You said he was nice. He was, Emma admitted, peeking out from the pillow. But it doesn't matter. I made a complete fool of myself. Maybe it's not the end of the world, Jenny said with a shrug. Mistakes happen, and if he was as nice as you say, maybe he didn't care. The next morning, Liam sat in his office, half-heartedly scrolling through emails, while his assistant Claire went over his schedule. Cancel the lunch with Rothman, he said abruptly, cutting her off. Claire paused, eyeing him. You've been distracted since last night. What's going on? Liam hesitated, unsure if he should open up. I met someone, he said finally. By accident. Claire's eyebrows shot up. By accident. Liam leaned back, his face thoughtful. She thought I was someone else. We talked, and she has no idea who I am. For the first time in years, it felt normal. And now? Claire asked, setting her clipboard down. I want to see her again, Liam said, his voice firm. Claire's lips twitched into a small smile. And how are you going to make that happen? I've got an idea, Liam said, standing with purpose. Later that day, Emma was wiping down tables at the diner, her shift dragging. When her phone buzzed, she pulled it out, frowning at the unknown number. Hi Emma, this is Liam. I was the guy at the restaurant last night. I know it was a mix-up, but I'd love to see you again. Coffee, maybe? Her heart skipped a beat. Liam, not Kevin's friend, was he? That evening, she showed the text to Jenny, her brow furrowed. What do I do? Jenny grinned. You say yes, duh. What's the worst that could happen? After a moment of doubt, Emma typed back. Okay, coffee sounds nice. The coffee shop Liam picked was cozy, hidden away from the city's hustle. When Emma walked in, she spotted him already seated, looking relaxed in jeans and a button-down shirt. Hi, she said, sliding into the chair across from him, her nerves buzzing. Hi, Liam replied, his smile warm. Thanks for coming. Emma shrugged, trying to play it cool. I figured I owed you an apology for running out like that. No apology needed, Liam said, his voice sincere. Honestly, I'm glad you did. Gave me an excuse to text you. They ordered drinks, and as they talked, Emma felt herself relax. Liam was so easy to talk to, his dry humor sneaking in and making her laugh. He asked about her art, her family, her dreams, really listened. So what do you do? She asked after a while. I work in tech, Liam said, keeping it vague. Startups, mostly. Sounds intense, Emma said. It can be, Liam admitted, but I love it. As the afternoon stretched on, Liam was pulled deeper into Emma's world. She talked about her mom, whose medical bills kept her juggling 2 jobs, and her sketches, which she hoped to turn into a career. "You're so resilient," Liam said, his admiration clear. Emma laughed softly. "Resilient or just stubborn, your call." That evening, back at his office, Claire cornered him. "You were gone all day," she said, her tone pointed. "What's up with this woman?" Liam sighed, rubbing his neck. "She's different." Claire crossed her arms. "And you still haven't told her who you really are?" "Not yet," Liam admitted. "I want her to know me, not my money." Claire's expression softened, but her voice stayed firm. "You can't keep this up forever, Liam. She'll find out, and it won't be pretty." Liam nodded, knowing she was right, but he wasn't ready to risk losing Emma. Not when she was the first real connection he'd felt in years. The rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee greeted Emma as she stepped into the cozy cafe, her nerves a bit calmer this time. Spotting Liam at a corner table, she gave a shy wave. His smile was warm, inviting, and totally different from the sharp suit she remembered. Today, he rocked a simple gray sweater and jeans, blending into the cafe's chill vibe. "Hi," she said, sliding into the seat across from him. "Hi," Liam replied, his voice soft but genuine. "Thanks for meeting me again," she shrugged, brushing off her nerves. "It's not every day some guy I accidentally met at a restaurant texts me." "I was curious," Liam chuckled, sipping his coffee. "Well, I'm thrilled curiosity won out." Oh, how the conversation sparkled that afternoon, their laughter dancing through the hum of the cozy cafe's background chatter. Liam leaned in, his eyes bright with curiosity, asking Emma about her art, questions that drew out pieces of her soul she rarely shared. "So what's it like pouring your heart into those sketches?" he asked, genuinely captivated. Emma hesitated, then opened up, her voice soft but fervent. "Drawing's been my lifeline. You know, my escape when life got heavy. My dad, he used to cheer me on, telling me every scribble was a masterpiece. Now I dream of opening a studio for young artists, giving them a place to shine." Liam's gaze softened, admiration glowing in his eyes. "You're so passionate about it. It's incredible." Emma's cheeks flushed a delicate pink. "It's all I've ever wanted. Crazy as that sounds." "Crazy?" Liam shook his head, his tone unwavering. "You'll get there, Emma. I can feel it." After they left the cafe, Emma's heart was still buzzing. "Come with me," she said, grabbing Liam's hand and leading him to her favorite park, a hidden gem tucked away from the city's chaos. The winding paths and scattered benches felt like a sanctuary. "This is where I come when I need inspiration," she exclaimed, pulling a small sketchbook from her bag. She flipped through pages, bursting with intricate drawings, portraits of strangers, sprawling trees, vibrant cityscapes. Liam's jaw dropped. "Emma, these are unreal. You could totally sell these." She smiled shyly, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "Maybe one day. For now, they're my little secrets, you know." As they strolled through the park, Emma paused by a pond, her eyes catching a child tossing bread to a flock of ducks. "Hold on," she said, plopping onto a bench and opening her sketchbook. Her pencil flew across the page, capturing the scene with effortless grace. Liam watched, utterly mesmerized by the way her focus sharpened, her hands moving like they were born for this. "You're amazing," he murmured, almost to himself. Emma glanced up, her eyes meeting his, a spark passing between them. "What? I'm just drawing," she laughed, brushing it off. "No," Liam said, his gaze steady and warm. "It's so much more than that. You're magic." A few days later, Liam showed up at the discount market, insisting on helping Emma with her groceries. "This is no big deal," he said, flashing a grin. Emma raised an eyebrow, teasing. "Oh, you're gonna regret this. These bags are heavy, mister." Liam chuckled, grabbing a carton of milk. "Heavy? Psh, I've got this." At her apartment building, he hauled the bags up the creaky stairs, ignoring the peeling paint and flickering hallway lights. "This place has character," he said with a wink, as they reached her door. Emma snorted, rolling her eyes. "Character? That's a polite way of saying it's a dump." Inside, her tiny apartment was a warm, chaotic haven. Art supplies strewn across the living room, sketches taped to every wall like a personal gallery. Liam's heart twisted with admiration, but guilt gnawed at him. How could her world, so full of creativity and warmth, feel so far from his? As they unpacked the groceries, Emma's voice softened, sharing stories about her mother. "She's always been my biggest cheerleader, pushing me to chase my art dreams."
she said, stacking cans in the cupboard. But now, with her health struggles, it's tough, you know. Still, I'm so lucky to have her. She's the strongest person I know. Liam nodded, his respect for her swelling. How did she carry so much and still shine so brightly? You're pretty strong yourself, he said quietly, meaning every word. One evening, Emma dragged Liam to an art gallery opening she'd been raving about for weeks. You're gonna love this, she said, her eyes sparkling as they wandered through the exhibit. Her enthusiasm was contagious, lighting up every piece she admired. They stopped before a painting of a father and daughter fishing by a lake, the vivid strokes pulsing with emotion. Emma's breath caught, her hand trembling slightly. What's wrong? Liam asked, stepping closer, concern in his voice. It reminds me of my dad, she whispered, barely audible. We used to fish every summer when I was little, just the two of us. Tears welled in her eyes, and she swiped them away quickly. Ugh, sorry, it's so silly. Liam's heart ached for her. Silly? Not at all, he said gently, his hand finding her shoulder without thinking. Your dad would be so proud of you, Emma. I know it. She looked up, her raw emotions laid bare, and for a moment, the noisy gallery faded, leaving just the two of them, connected by something unspoken and profound. Walking home, Emma's thoughts were a whirlwind of longing and confusion. Liam, or Kevin, as she still believed, had become her favorite person to see, someone who made her feel truly understood. But a nagging doubt crept in, sharp and persistent. I don't get it, she said aloud, breaking the quiet. Liam glanced at her, surprised. Don't get why you're here with me, she admitted, her voice raw. You could be anywhere, with anyone. Why me of all people? Liam's guilt flared, a tight knot in his chest. Because I love being around you, he said softly, his eyes searching hers. Isn't that enough? Emma managed a faint smile, but the doubt lingered, heavy and unresolved. Was it really enough? Later that night, Liam sat in his penthouse, the glittering city lights sprawling before him. Usually they brought him peace, but tonight, they felt cold, distant. He knew he had to tell Emma the truth, his real identity, his wealth, everything. But the thought of losing her, it terrified him. For now, he'd cling to this fragile connection, even if it was built on a lie. Just a little longer, he told himself.
The hum of city life buzzed softly as Emma curled up on her couch, scrolling through her phone with a cup of tea in hand. A headline caught her eye. Liam Parker, the elusive tech millionaire, expands philanthropic efforts. Curious, she tapped the article, and her breath hitched. The photo showed a sharply dressed man with dark hair, his confident posture eerily familiar. Wait a second, was that? Her brow furrowed as she squinted at the screen. Hey, Jenny, she called to her roommate, who was piecing together a jigsaw puzzle at the kitchen table. What's up? Jenny replied, not looking up. Emma shoved her phone toward her. Does this guy look like Kevin to you? Jenny squinted, then burst out laughing. No way. That's some billionaire hotshot, right? Kevin's way more chill. Emma frowned, the resemblance nagging at her, but she shook her head. Yeah, you're right. I'm being ridiculous, she muttered, trying to laugh it off. But the unease lingered. A few days later, Emma invited Liam over for dinner, wanting to thank him for his kindness. When he arrived, clutching a bouquet of wildflowers, her heart skipped. You didn't have to bring anything, she exclaimed, her smile warm. Liam shrugged, handing her the flowers. Just a little thank you for having me over. The meal was simple but heartfelt. Spaghetti and garlic bread on mismatched plates. As they ate, Emma shared her plans to enter a local art competition, buoyed by Liam's encouragement. You've done so much for me, she said, her eyes soft with gratitude. Not just with my art, but you're so humble. It's refreshing. Liam's smile flickered, guilt stabbing at him, but he recovered quickly. I'm just being myself, he said, taking a sip of water. Oh, if only that were true. As Emma talked, Liam's guilt grew, a heavy weight in his chest. She trusted him, admired him, but it was all based on a lie. He wasn't ready to lose her, not yet. But the truth? It had a way of slipping out. A week later, Emma was volunteering at a glitzy charity event, arranging silent auction items for underprivileged youth. A buzz of excitement swept through the room. Who's that? a volunteer whispered, nodding toward the entrance. Emma turned and her heart stopped. Liam strode into the ballroom, impeccable in a tailored suit, his confidence commanding every eye. What was he doing here? The event organizer approached Liam, shaking his hand warmly before addressing the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, we're honored to welcome our guest of honor, Mr. Liam Parker, whose generosity made this event possible. The applause was thunderous, but Emma barely heard it. Her world spun. Liam Parker, the tech millionaire, the man she thought was Kevin. Her heart raced, betrayal sinking in like a stone. She waited until the event quieted before approaching him. Liam's calm demeanor faltered when he saw her, his eyes widening. Emma, he started, stepping toward her. We need to talk, she said, her voice icy. He nodded, leading her to a quiet hallway. Emma crossed her arms, her gaze sharp. So, you're Liam Parker, the billionaire. Care to explain why you pretended to be someone else? Liam exhaled, running a hand through his hair. I didn't mean to lie, Emma. It was an accident at first. You thought I was Kevin, and I liked how easy it was to talk to you. For once, someone didn't see me as a walking bank account. Emma's jaw tightened. So you just kept pretending. Let me fall for a guy who doesn't exist. How could you? No, Liam said quickly, desperation in his voice. Everything we shared, it was real. I just didn't know how to tell you without losing you. You mean without breaking your little illusion? Emma snapped, her voice rising. Do you know how humiliating this is? I trusted you. I thought you were different. Liam's eyes pleaded with her. I am different, Emma. You're the only one who's ever seen me for me, not my money. I couldn't bear to lose that. Tears stung Emma's eyes, but she blinked them back, shaking her head. You already have, she whispered, turning and walking away, her steps quick and final. Liam reached out, then froze, the weight of his mistake crushing him. That night, Emma sat in her room, staring at her sketches but seeing nothing. Her mind was a storm, anger, betrayal, heartbreak. Jenny knocked softly, poking her head in. You okay, Em? Emma shook her head, a tear slipping down her cheek. No, not really. Jenny sat beside her, pulling her into a hug. Wanna talk? Emma's voice broke. I don't know if I was falling for him or just the version I thought I knew. Jenny held her tighter. You deserve someone who's honest, Em. Don't settle for less. As Emma lay awake, staring at the ceiling, she vowed to protect her heart. Liam Parker might have been charming, but his betrayal cut too deep. For now, she'd focus on herself and leave his lies behind. Liam sat at his sleek desk, staring out at the glittering city lights that usually wrapped him in comfort. Tonight, though, they felt cold, distant, almost mocking. Emma's words echoed in his mind, sharp and unrelenting. You already have. The weight of his mistake crushed him. He hadn't just lied. He'd shattered the trust of the one person who saw him for who he was, not his wealth or status. And now she was gone. Gone. I have to fix this, he muttered, his voice barely a whisper, determination flickering through his despair. His assistant Claire slipped into the room, a steaming cup of coffee in her hand. Long night, huh? She asked, her tone light but her eyes sharp. Liam glanced at her, his expression resolute. I need advice, Claire. Serious advice. Claire's eyebrows shot up, intrigue sparking in her gaze. Whoa, that's new. What's going on? It's Emma, Liam said, his voice heavy with regret, as he spilled the whole story. His deception, her heartbreak, his guilt. Claire listened intently, then nodded. If she's as special as you say, Liam, words won't cut it. You've got to show her how much she means to you. Action. They screamed louder than apologies. The next day, Liam stood outside Emma's apartment, his heart pounding. Could he really pull this off? He knocked, and to his surprise, Jenny answered, her arms crossed, eyes blazing. You've got some nerve showing up here, she snapped. I need your help, Jenny, Liam pleaded, his tone raw and earnest. Please. Jenny hesitated, her glare softening just a fraction. Fine, she sighed. You've got 5 minutes. Inside, Liam laid out his plan, his voice brimming with conviction. He wanted to buy the small gallery Emma had always dreamed of owning and fill it with her artwork. He'd been secretly collecting her sketches, each one a piece of her soul. I want her to see that I believe in her, he said, and that I'll do whatever it takes to make this right. Whatever it takes.
Jenny studied him, her skepticism giving way to a cautious nod. She deserves someone who'll fight for her, Liam. Don't mess this up. Weeks of tireless work followed. Liam threw himself into the project, collaborating with the gallery owner to secure the purchase. He curated Emma's artwork with care, framing each piece and lighting it to perfection, transforming the space into a breathtaking tribute to her talent and vision. On the day of the reveal, he left a handwritten note on the front desk, his heart racing as he slipped away. Had he done enough? Emma was trudging home from work, exhausted, when Jenny practically ambushed her. "You need to come with me now," Jenny said, her tone urgent. "What? Why?" Emma asked, totally confused. "Just trust me, okay?" Jenny insisted, practically dragging her toward the small gallery Emma had admired for years. When they arrived, Emma stopped dead in her tracks. The sign on the door read, "Special Exhibit, The Art of Emma Brooks." Her heart raced. What was this? She stepped inside, and her breath caught. The space overflowed with her drawings, landscapes, portraits, whimsical sketches she'd poured her heart into. The gallery was empty, except for a single note on a pedestal in the center. Her hands trembled as she picked it up. "Your art deserves the world, just like you deserve honesty, love, and someone who sees you for who you are. Let me try again." Liam, tears welled in her eyes as she gazed around, each piece a mirror of her dreams, her struggles. How had he done this? Just then, Liam stepped out from behind a partition, his expression cautious, but brimming with hope. "Emma," he began, his voice steady despite the emotion in his eyes. "I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I couldn't let you go without showing you how much you mean to me." She turned to face him, tears streaming down her cheeks. "You broke my trust, Liam. I don't know if I can ever forget that." Liam nodded, his gaze unwavering. "I know, but I'll spend my life making it up to you if you'll let me. You're the only thing in my life that feels real." Emma looked away, her heart torn. "You made me feel like I wasn't enough, like you thought I couldn't handle the truth." "That wasn't it," Liam said, his voice cracking. "I was scared you'd see me differently if you knew the truth. Scared you'd walk away before I could prove who I am." Emma's emotions swirled, love and fear battling inside her. She couldn't deny it. She loved him, but trusting him again, that was a leap. "Maybe," she said softly, her voice trembling. "Some things are worth a second chance." Liam's eyes lit up, but Emma raised a hand. "I'm not saying it'll be easy," she added, "but I'm willing to try." Liam stepped closer, gratitude flooding his voice. "That's all I could ever ask for, Emma." As they stood in the gallery, surrounded by her artwork, the tension between them eased, just a little. But as Emma left that evening, she glanced back, her expression unreadable. Liam watched her go, his heart heavy yet hopeful. He'd made his move. Now what would she do? Emma sat by her bedroom window, staring out at the quiet street below. Liam's note clutched in her hands, its words burned into her mind. "Let me try again." Days had passed, and she couldn't stop replaying it all. His betrayal, his apology, the incredible lengths he'd gone to prove his love. That gallery filled with her artwork wasn't just a grand gesture. It was proof he believed in her, even when she doubted herself. Her heart pulled her in two directions. Part of her screamed to protect herself, to walk away before she got hurt again. But the bigger it couldn't ignore the truth. She still loved him. Loved him. With a deep breath, she grabbed her coat and phone. The cafe was quiet, its warm glow a stark contrast to the nervous energy buzzing through her as she walked in. She spotted Liam at the same table where they'd first met, his face a mix of hope and fear. Was he as nervous as she was? "Emma," he said softly, standing as she approached. "Hi," she replied, her voice steady despite her racing heart. They sat, silence lingering for a moment, before Liam spoke. "I didn't know if you'd come," he admitted, his voice raw. "I almost didn't," Emma said honestly, meeting his eyes. "Liam, I've spent weeks trying to figure out if I can trust you again, and I've realized I don't need grand gestures or money, or gifts. I just need honesty. Can you give me that?" Liam leaned forward, his voice fierce with sincerity. "You have my word, Emma. No more secrets, no more lies, just me, for as long as you'll have me." Emma studied him, searching for any hint of doubt. All she saw was truth. Slowly she nodded. "Okay, let's try again." Relief flooded Liam's face, and for the first time in weeks, a genuine smile broke through. Months later, Emma stood in the heart of her newly opened art gallery, surrounded by friends, family, and supporters. The space hummed with excitement as guests marveled at the pieces on display, crafted by Emma and the up-and-coming artists she'd mentored. Liam had been by her side every step of the way, not with his wealth, but with unwavering encouragement. He'd insisted the gallery was hers in name and spirit, and Emma had poured her soul into making it a haven for creativity. Could she have done this without him? As she mingled, a tap on her shoulder made her turn. There was Liam, dressed sharply, a mischievous glint in his eye. "Can I steal you for a sec?" he asked. Emma grinned. "You already have me, but sure." He led her to the front of the room, the crowd hushing as he faced her. "Emma," he began, his voice clear and steady, "you sat at the wrong table that night, but from that moment I knew you were the right person for me." Soft murmurs of delight filled the room as Liam pulled a small velvet box from his pocket. "I love you for your strength, your kindness, the way you see beauty in everything and everyone," he said. "You've changed my life in ways I never imagined. So Emma Brooks, will you marry me?" Tears filled Emma's eyes as the room erupted in applause. She laughed, wiping her cheek. "Only if you swear. No more secrets." Liam grinned, his voice rock solid. "I promise." She nodded, holding out her hand. Then yes, their wedding was a small intimate affair in the gallery, surrounded by Emma's art and their loved one. Liam made a generous donation to the gallery's outreach program, ensuring young artists could grow and thrive. It was Emma's dream, now their shared legacy. As the sun set, golden light streaming through the gallery windows, Emma and Liam shared their first dance. "I'm so glad I sat at the wrong table," Emma whispered, her voice thick with love. Liam pulled her close, his smile soft. "Best mistake we ever made." As the music played and their loved ones watched, Emma and Liam began their new chapter, their love stronger for every obstacle they'd overcome. Their dance under the gallery's warm glow was a reminder. Sometimes life's greatest moments spring from unexpected mistakes. Emma's story proves that trust, forgiveness, and love can transform even the wildest beginnings into something extraordinary. When two hearts fight for each other, anything's possible.